Hi Pisces, I'm Chi. Welcome to Luminance Tarot. I'm going to be reading for you today for the season varies, March 21 through April 19th. I'm new to YouTube and I have a little special down below. And I'm going to be reading for you today with the Deva deck, which is a 5-suit deck. The 5th set is Triax and it represents the ethereal energy. I hope you enjoy it, and let's just get started. As I was starting to shuffle in for you and connect to you, the song It's My Life, Don't You Forget. That song, it started playing in my mind. So I think that might have something to do with where our little conversation is going to go and making some choices. Jumping out for us is the 7 of Cups, and your first Triax card, wow, is the Ace of Triax inverted. So it is your life. It never ends. And what are you choosing? Do you know what to choose yet? The ideas are just sifting around. This is an interesting setup because the 7 of Cups talks often about a myriad of options, and it can talk about indulgence. It can be kind of indolent in the confusion of those choices, or we can allow ourselves time to admit that we're trying to decide and make choices so that we can take in the inspiration. We can say, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to choose. And keep moving in the I don't know what to choose space so that guidance can come, because it tends to help. Movement will tend to help guidance come through. This card, ooh, heavens, he wanted to come this way. Knight of Wands. This guy is talking about, he's electric. He's electric. He's actually the exact opposite of this emotional, contemplative energy that we have going with the 7 of Cups. And he throws, this person might have thrown you off, or you're throwing people for a loop. You might, if you're throwing people for a loop, it's because you needed to take some time to go inside and start to figure out what you're wanting. But this guy crossing your path tends to tell me it's coming, like it's coming at you from the end, from the outside, and it's shaking up your world, and it's going to force you, or has forced you, to reevaluate your world. And you were not planning on doing that. You're not planning on doing that, and it is not appreciated, and you're working on finding your equilibrium again. And you need to take your ownership. Don't act like this just happened from nowhere and happened to you. It didn't happen to you. You helped create it. You totally helped create it, because you've been, I think we might be getting a little relationshipy, but there's been a battle. There's been a battle in here, and you've been knowing that it can't stay how it is, but not knowing how to change it. And so something had to come along to throw the chaos in, so that even though this is a hard juggle to find the equilibrium, the process of finding the equilibrium comes about. And you've felt, oh gosh, resolved and ready to move on. Like you're not even trying, you, in the past, you weren't trying to even look at this situation. You weren't facing it. You weren't dealing with the conflicts. You weren't dealing with where you really were emotionally, and what you weren't listening to your intuition. I mean, the universe was like, it's interesting because it's such a beautiful card, but in relationship to what's going on here and the justice, she's looking up over there at that, like, come on, like, deal with this. You can align your growth, and you can grow to a point, but you might be spiritually bypassing. I don't know if you've ever heard that word where you're like, well, I'll just go up here in the woo-woo and not deal with all this stuff because the woo-woo's got you. Spirit does have you, but Spirit isn't going to fool with you. You know, you have to face the situation. Even though this is the 8 of triacs, and it is the battle of the self. And this is when the battle, when we're inverted, it's not an easy battle either way, but inverted, it's the battle you're not wanting to do. There's a reluctance to deal with it all. When your hopes and when your reality and your hopes and dreams and your vision for yourself aren't matching up, or when the ideas that you have are not matching up with your idea, like your ideals, you might even find yourself in variance with yourself, like not like inside yourself, things and ideas are happening that are not feeling congruent. And we have 3 8s here. So it's definitely a time to tap into your intuition, not your sappy emotions. I'm sorry if I'm coming across a little hardcore, but knowing the difference between your indolence and your intuition. Every emotion you feel is not your higher self, right? You know that. Every emotion you feel is not what you're to indulge in. It's not the way to go. So how do you get back to your intuition? I want to see why the universe is looking back to the past this way. What's going on? What are, I see the fights, I see the disillusionment, I see the trying to get back on track, but what don't you want to look at? What are you not wanting to take your responsibility for? And what's the truth you're not wanting to see? Things were humming along, and then they weren't. And it changed. I'm going to take you to. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you got hurt. I'm sorry that you feel like you were treated unfairly, that somebody really went for the jugular and life changed. And I'm sorry it didn't feel like the right progression, that it was exhausting. It is the ride you're taking to your next self. And the people involved, it looks like you're having like closure trouble, because this person, if you feel like you need closure with somebody and you need to talk to somebody, because they just laid it out. They just said harsh, nasty things and cut you down, cut you off, threw you way off balance, and then disappeared. And you're feeling like you're they're not available to work through it. Like the processing that you might like to have is not available to you. They're being elusive. So that has you in a little bit of a head buried in the sand thing. All the meanwhile, you can't let the rest of your life fall apart while that happens. You know, death is always here to bring out your resilience and teach you to move towards the next version of yourself. It's not here to be your undoing, if you will. We got a little glare. I want you to be able to see these. It's not about being your undoing and ruining your life and taking from you things that you think it's taking from you what you think you were supposed to have so you can have what you really desire to have. And you're really screwed up right now at the moment because you're not sure you know what that is. But going back to the theme of It's My Life, go What are we going to look at? We're going to look at steps forward. Steps forward. Getting back to your passion. Whew. Getting back to your passion. Forgiveness is a huge thing. See, like death is looking at justice, which would talk a lot about forgiveness. But if this is you, if somebody won't deal with you, if you've been dealing with a situation where somebody like is just looking away and you're looking away, everybody is looking away from the center. Denial is a warm river. It's only going to play out for so long. We want to get your growth moving again. You got to get moving again. How are you doing? How are you physically doing? What are you physically doing? What can you do to physically get back in your body? Get in your body, get your spark back. You got to get your groove back is what I'm picking up on. And forgiveness is key because this person, oh my God, I got a little head charge, like my head knocked to the side. This person is upset. And as you see, we got the green and yellow story going on here. So I know it's how that's been impacting you. Forgiveness. Your hopes and we're gonna bring in a little. You are. I like that. Thank God. You are an emotional creature. And that's your nature. That's what you do. This is your realm. Take control back of your realm. Get back in the driver's seat of your life. Be okay with all the myriad of emotions that you feel. That is what'll take you to the next level. Be all right. Be all right with it. Everything is all screwed up. I might not get to speak to this person again. I might not get to deal with this. I might have been let go from a job in an abrupt way. I might have been treated unfairly, and I'm not going to get to speak my justice. And forgiveness is my only weapon. And that is it is the weapon of choice to put you back in the driver's seat of your life. And coming together with others. You have support around you. You're not using it. You like to be social. You like to be around people and get out there. Find the people that are right for you to be around at this time and build a new idea. Do something creative. But it's time to stop sitting in the shock and the ruminating. So how do we wrap up? How do we heal, mend, get resilient too, and come through the last bit of these energies? What's the wrap up to this chapter? Yeah, there's that clarity. You're gonna get out of your head and just stop replaying the situation. Stop recasting yourself. Stop rewriting everybody's lines, and trust that you have within you. You are on a mission from on high. You have a journey. You have a point. You have a meaning. I don't like you having to work so hard to be in your passion. You are a fun, vivacious person, Pisces. People do rely on you a lot. You do hold a lot of energy for a lot of people, but you don't want to be your own undoing. This Nine of Swords, this is the self, piercing of the self. If we let all that go, pardon a second, you will free yourself up from this emotional pollution represented here. This is spiritual. This is you being a little too empathic. I think you might have been too concerned about why this whole situation went down the way it did, and like, you know, well, they're doing that because of how they feel and because this and that. No, no, screw that. Screw taking someone else's issues out on your psyche. That's no, we can't with that. We can't with that. No, you have your own destiny to fulfill, and the community to help you do it. So your job is very much to get back to your passion. I feel like integration, it's so interesting as these cards, as I use these cards for my first pass on YouTube, the integration cards that come from the triacs keep coming up for people. You're on a journey. You're on a journey, and I want you to make time for yourself to be on this journey. Do what you do with your life, show up for everybody, but clock some time out to refeed your inspiration. If you have a passionate affair that can blossom, this can definitely be a new passionate affair, for sure. But you gotta free yourself up. Free yourself up. Deal with your emotions. Get back in the driver's seat. And then you will have this. All right? It's going to be a lovely spring. Don't fret. Just feel and keep moving through it. So this card that introduced itself to you is your first Dakini Oracle deck card, which I'm going to grab two more for you. And we will read from the book. Beautiful. The Wheel of Great Time corresponds to the Wheel of Fortune. And the words that go with it are, all things are ever changing in a state of flux, yet there are cycles of such activity. Do not let yourself be caught up on the circumference of situations, but concentrate on the center. Burn up past karma by decisive right action, so becoming the ruler of the present and the future. This card indicates success through the completion of a time cycle, the unexpected change of luck for the better. Asylum. Find a place of refuge and recuperation, free from all worldly concerns. Believe in the power of the imagination and take up a position of contemplation with regard to any particular question or problem. Trust in the pure potency of the intuition and you will not go astray. This card suggests a feeling of well-being when left alone, away from worldly problems. That speaks so much to what we have been talking about. It is a magical omen of a positive order, the precise influence of which are to be determined. Recall. This is the point to stop and recollect before taking action. Remember the past in order to know how to act in the present. The card represents a moment when the vast memory within each one of us surfaces in order that we may learn from it. This card is a glimpse of the personal unconscious mind of the questioner. The conch represents the vibration of all things, for all animate and inanimate objects are comprised of particles vibrating at characteristic frequencies. The sound of the conch is used in religious ceremonies to attract higher orders of spiritual vibrations and to repel lower vibrations. So I hope that you enjoyed our conversation and that you will like, subscribe, and comment below. Let me know if you have any questions, any thoughts, and feel free to take me up on my introductory offer. And I hope you'll visit me again. Have a wonderful day, Pisces.